I want to welcome you back to another episode of True Crime and Mysterious Cases. Today I want to talk about the tragic murder of Tejano superstar Selena Quintanilla. Selena was born April 16, 1971 in Lake Jackson, Texas. But when Selena was just 11 years old, her father would move the family to Corpus Christi, where he felt the family of musicians would have better opportunity. Selena's father, Abraham Quintanilla, was the mastermind and manager of the family's band Selena y los Dinos. Selena's two siblings, Abe and Suzette, were also members of the band. Now, most of the early years, they spent traveling around the country in an old bus, doing shows at rodeos and carnivals, even playing in restaurants. Abraham, her father/manager, he often had a hard time getting them gigs because having a female lead Tejano singer was not the norm. But the family didn't give up. And before they knew it, Selena was becoming very popular with especially young Tejano girls who needed a role model to look up to. And in 1987, Selena would win the Tejano Music Awards Female Vocalist of the Year. She would go on to receive this award 8 more times in as many years. And in 1989, she would sign with EM Latin Records and release her self-titled debut album. In 1992, Selena would marry her first love and bandmate, Chris Perez. Selena's dreams and aspirations included more than just being a Tejano superstar. And in 1994, Selena would establish Selena ETC, and she would build her boutique, clothing store, and salon that would also function as her home headquarters in Corpus Christi, Texas. She soon would branch out and opened up another boutique in San Antonio. Selena not only sold clothes in her boutique, she was also a fashion designer and would design her own specialty line of clothing, including those bustiers she often wore on stage. For such a young woman, Selena's lists of accomplishments are very impressive. At just 23 years old, Selena would be a wife, a singer, a songwriter, an actress, a model, and an entrepreneur. Selena would make a deadly decision and hire her fan club president, Yolanda Saldivar, to work with her at her boutique. Now, it's been said that Yolanda was obsessed with Selena since attending one of her concerts in 1993. She formed the Selena fan club shortly after that concert, and the fan club grew to like 5,000 members, which really impressed Abraham Quintanilla. By all outward appearances, Yolanda seemed to be a good friend, a loyal confidant to Selena, and was vital to the everyday runnings of her boutique. In 1995, Selena would be shocked and angry when her father Abraham would discover that Yolanda had been embezzling from Selena. Upwards of $60,000 was missing. On March the 9th, 1995, Selena, her father Abraham, and her sister Suzette would confront Yolanda about the embezzlement. Yolanda would, of course, deny the allegations, but Abraham fired her right there on the spot. Selena stayed in contact with Yolanda because Yolanda had important financial records that Selena needed. On March 31st, Selena left her home, the home she shared with her husband, Chris Perez. And this would be the last time Chris would see Selena alive. Selena had an 11 a.m. appointment to meet with Abraham and Suzette at their business headquarters concerning the embezzlement. But before the meeting, Selena stopped by Yolanda's motel room at the Days Inn because Yolanda told her that she was finally going to produce the needed financial paperwork that Selena had needed. In Yolanda's motel room, Selena confronted Yolanda about the embezzlement allegations. And Selena gave Yolanda back a ring that she had given Selena as a gift. Selena turned to leave when Yolanda took out a gun and shot her. Selena managed to escape to the lobby of the motel, where she then collapsed. Now, it only took law enforcement and EMS 2 to 3 minutes to get to the scene. Selena was taken to the closest hospital, where doctors tried to save her, but were unsuccessful. Just 2 weeks before her 24th birthday, Selena would be pronounced dead. After a 9-hour standoff with law enforcement, Yolanda finally agreed to turn herself in, and she was arrested. There were already hundreds of fans of Selena's gathered at the scene after hearing of the Tejano superstar's death. Yolanda would claim that she intended on shooting herself and that she accidentally shot Selena, but she would later be convicted of the murder and sentenced to life in prison. Selena would be buried on April 3rd, 1995, in a private ceremony at the Seaside Memorial Cemetery. Selena was laid to rest the day after what should have been her and Chris's 3rd anniversary. In 1997, the movie Selena was released, starring Jennifer Lopez as Selena. And most recently, Netflix released Selena, the series. Both do a fairly good job at telling the life and death story of the Queen of Tejano. Selena may be gone, but she definitely is not forgotten, and her legacy continues to live on through her music, the songs that she wrote, her fashion, her family, her friends, and her fans. That's going to wrap up this edition of True Crime and Mysterious Cases. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit those like, subscribe, and notification buttons so that you don't miss any future episodes.